Hi, my name is Karen Plant, and today I want to share with you about Pear Deck, a live slide deck interactive session that you can share with your students. So let's take a look. So here we are at peardeck.com. This is called an interactive walkthrough. What happens when you create a Pear Deck and share it with your students? They log in to your session using a specific code similar to Google Classroom. What you can see is your students' names on the left-hand side, and what you're viewing on the screen right now is something called a session dashboard. What students see on the projector is what's on the right-hand side of this screen. They would see the code and how they enter. Students would go to peardeck.com/join and enter the specific code specific to the session you're sharing. So now that you can see the students that are in your session on the session dashboard, you're ready to manipulate everything you present to them using the controls on the bottom. You would have the opportunity to manipulate this session dashboard on a different device. You could have any device connected to the internet, including a phone, a tablet, or a different computer. Students see what's on the projector view on their own device. We can move to the next slide in the slide deck to share with students. In this example, students are able to answer one of the interactive questions that Pear Deck provides. What they're doing is they're dragging a dot onto a map on their device. What you can do is see students' answers in real time. But on the right-hand side, the class can't see the student answers yet. We can share all the answers from the whole class on the classroom projector, and now we can see them all overlaid. We can also lock the students out of the question so they can't change their answers anymore. You can scroll and see all the different students' individual answers on the session dashboard on whatever device you're using, and not all the students can see who answered what. In this question, this is a text kind of interaction. So students can answer on their device, any device that's connected to the internet. Why do you think the Pacific Northwest is such a good place to grow pears? This is part of the slide deck that you'd put in advance, and it could be any question with any image. You can view all the answers on the screen. When you hover over one of the answers in your session dashboard, it highlights who answered what, so you can have real-time feedback from individual students. And you can scroll down to see the rest of the students in your class. We can also ask questions on the fly that aren't part of our Pear Deck session. We can ask students any one of the interactive or formative assessment questions provided. So here's some different versions. We have some draggable questions, some drawing questions, multiple choice questions, or free response questions. We can draw on a grid. Students can draw on a blank screen. They can answer yes, no, true, false, multiple choice. They can write long answer, short answer, or even numbers. We'll do a thumbs up, thumbs down. Do students understand what you're talking about at this time? As students answer, you can see when they're done answering. If you share with the class can see, and you can check individually who's struggling and who's got it. Once you've shared a session with your class, when you end it, they no longer see anything on the screen or on their device. You have the opportunity to save all these sessions, including student answers and how they answered. Pear Deck integrates with Google Drive. When you sign in to Pear Deck, if you'd like to get started using this with your students, you'll find that you have the whole free premium EDU trial until June 30th, 2016. This is because we partnered with Pear Deck to provide EPS teachers with the opportunity to try out the full EDU suite. So please do sign into Pear Deck using your Google EPS account. Once we're in Pear Deck, we have some options. We can see some of the sessions we've used, anything we've started, information with our account, and if you're with your EPS email, you'll see that you're on a premium plan. Because Pear Deck integrates with Google Drive, when you're in your Google Drive, this is how you can start to create a Pear Deck. You don't have to create a Pear Deck slide set from scratch though. In Google Drive, once you've opened and entered into Pear Deck and allowed access to your Google Drive, you'll be able to go under the New tab, More, and open a Pear Deck. It should be something that's been integrated into your Google Drive if you've allowed access. This will open the Pear Deck editor. In the Pear Deck editor, you have a chance to build your slide decks. These are the things that students are going to interact with, and you're going to share on the projector with your students. This pair here says that you have lots of options for starting from scratch or importing. You could import a PowerPoint set of slides, a Google presentation, or even a PDF to have students interact with you. Up on the left-hand side, there are some 3 hot dogs that look familiar to us using Google. When we click on that, we see a menu that opens up that helps us navigate. There's plenty of help videos, a knowledge base, and contact support in this menu. We can also go see our sessions. What I want to show you in here is the import slides function. Because I've allowed access to Google Drive, I'm able to import slides from a variety of places. I can upload a slide from my computer, that's in PowerPoint. I can connect with PDFs, or I can search for a Google slide presentation I've already made. This Google slide presentation, Evolution Part 3, is from my days of teaching biology. When I select it, it'll load into the Pear Deck editor. The more images you have and the bigger the file, the longer it takes for Pear Deck to bring it into the editor. Once in the editor, we're able to add some of the interactive parts. We see here on the side the different slides. We can erase them and manipulate them from there. Once we bring a slide into the editor, we have a chance to, on the right-hand side, ask some of the interactive kinds of options that we saw in the live demo we did at the beginning. We can have something where we drag for students on an image or on some other kind of question, a drawing, a multiple choice, a free response text, or a free response number. We could also have a website slide. Remember that each of these slides shows up on the student's device, so each student could have access to the interactive information that you're sharing. These types of interactive questions are in this Pear Deck sample question gallery, so we can take a look at some of them. So here's some different kinds of subjects on the left. Let's take math, for instance. Here's an example of a draggable question type. This is the projector view that we see on the left-hand side, and the participant or the student, what they see. Where would you put your dot to make an equilateral triangle with these 2 dots? And students can drag the dot to answer. When you have projector view, the student responses are showing, or you could turn it off and everyone can get feedback to see. There could be different kinds of drawing questions. You could have a grid, any kind of graph, and have students draw and communicate what they know about the equations being presented. A drawing question in, for example, world language might be where the student can answer, where they can use different colors, different shapes, different widths of pen, and it can all be communicated on the screen for the teacher to see. A multiple choice question in phys ed. When students answer the question, you can see in a chart who's answering what and how many times they're being answered. That provides a student with immediate feedback on the general answers their classmates are giving, as well as their own. Free number responses are also available, and they can be plotted between the ranges. So there's lots of different kinds of question types that Pear Deck offers for you to engage students in your slide deck. What you do need to have is students with devices. As I mentioned before, this can work on any device that has access to the internet, including smartphones, tablets, Chromebooks, or laptops. In the future, we would like to share with you that coming to our community of practice on April 26, 2016 is the Pear Deck team. If you're interested in learning more about Pear Deck, there'll be both an introductory and an advanced session on Pear Deck at the April 26, 2016 EdTech Community of Practice. If you are watching this after-school special after June 30th, 2016, and there is no longer access to the full premium version for EPSB teachers, please contact the TIPS team and we can help you give an update regarding Pear Deck. Thanks for listening today to this after-school special on Pear Deck. If you love Pear Deck, please let us know on our EPSB EdTech Google Plus community.